such unnecessary hate. I think that the Kingdom Come Deliverance hate is literally this simple. People are fucking tired of gay shit. They're tired of it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want it to be an option. They don't want it to exist. That's the truth. Now, they might not say that. But that's what it is. That's what it is. Woke Christians malding. No, the reason why people are mad, I'll be very honest. I think that the fact is that I don't think this is a big deal. And I think this is an example of people that are like anti-DEI going overboard. I think this is too much of an overcorrection. And I think that people are straying into the realm of being unreasonable. Now, everybody has every right to have every opinion about any game that they want. So I'm not saying you're not allowed to have this opinion. I'm just saying that I don't agree with it and I don't find it completely like that important. I think the fact is that if they want to change this, I don't think that really makes that big of a difference, especially if it's something that's not mandated inside of the game. So yeah, why does this video game character, why does this matter to people and how they play the game? Well, I can explain why it matters to them. It's very simple. So the reason why it matters to them is because they've seen this happen a lot. Where video games have been changed in a way that makes them like more modern or gives them like more, of like a political lean in a certain direction, like left wing, like more like okay with gay stuff and things like that. That's something that a lot of people are pushing back against. They don't like that. And I think that in the process of pushing back against that, sometimes you have false positives. And I think this is a false positive. I don't think that Kingdom Come Deliverance has really indicated that it's a woke game. Especially after the guy that was making the game just shit on Veilguard like, 3 weeks ago, right? Everybody was saying how based he was, but now because you have like this weird character option that you can choose to be gay, that this is somehow evil. Why'd they change his sexuality? You don't turn being gay on or off. I don't know. I mean, and I think that's what I say is fair, right? Like, I don't think this is a big deal because it's about, so basically, whenever you're playing an online role-playing game, there are different spectrums of role-playing that you take part in. So in some games, you're playing an online role-playing game like mouthwashing, for example, right? Where you are this character, you are doing these things, and this outcome will pretty much happen every time, right? And there's maybe a few other different outcomes, but they're pretty much the same every time. It's the same as like Black Myth Wukong. You play one character, you go through the story in the same way, and that's it. Then you have games that are on the other side of the spectrum that are like Baldur's Gate 3, where you can do anything, you can be anything, and the story basically accommodates it. So you have these two ends of the spectrum. Now, it's very clear that they have changed where Henry is on this spectrum. Because when his sexuality and his religion were up for debate, were not up for debate, and now they are, clearly there has been a change. Obviously, there's been a change. Anybody can see that. But I don't think that's an indication that the game is like compromised or bad or anything like that. It's the same issue that people have with race swapping inside of like stories for like movies and like, the Netflix adaptation, and it's like, some like, white person is replaced with a black person or something like that, right? The reason why people have a problem with it is because it always happens in one direction. There are never a lot of cases where a character that was previously bisexual or gay is turned into being straight, but there are also infinitely many cases of the opposite happening. So what the problem that I think people have is that because they see this happening only from one direction constantly, this makes any reasonable person, and this is just what a reasonable person is going to see, when things only happen in one direction, that's an agenda. It is. It's a fucking agenda. And it's obvious that it's an agenda. And if it wasn't, then you'd see it happening both ways, but it's not. When you have a culture that has been trained to identify this, don't be surprised when you have false positives. This, in my opinion, is a false positive. I don't think it's worth getting that mad about this game yet. I haven't played the game. I don't know. But my point is that I can understand why they're upset. I bet that the gay stuff and like that black character in the game, I bet that is like such a minute fraction of the game. It's less than 0.1% of the story. But the problem is that it's the perception of it, right? And if you have the perception of it and people are upset about it, well, then that's a huge issue. That's a massive fucking issue, because it doesn't matter like how big you think it is. It matters how big other people think it is. So if they think that it's a problem and they decide not to buy your game based off of it, you can call them stupid all you want, but they still didn't buy the fucking game. So that's the way I see it. People have had enough with anything that triggers red flags for woke. There's nothing surprising about this. I think that's true. I think this is a false positive. I think it's an example of, yes, obviously they have some instance of this happening. The game director generalized the people who were questioning the game Nazi. This is the damage that you do when you call people like Elon Musk or me Nazis. Is that you have somebody who replied, so the guy who said this, that he called a Nazi, had his profile picture was a Pepe the Frog wearing a swastika with Nazi pictures behind him with a sheet of paper that says, "You're a Jew." That's who he called a Nazi. That's right. But because this word has been used so much, it's been overused constantly, that people are crying wolf, and now no one's listening. So this is the narrative that's been created. The narrative has been created that Warhorse Studios made the game gay and they added black people into it because they need ESG money. Because through a couple of steps of removal, BlackRock is involved with Warhorse. Now, they're not directly involved, but through a couple of steps of removal, that's happened. And so, well, here's the thing, is that if they say that we didn't add this into the game to get ESG funding, would it matter? Because I don't think that it would. Because people would just say, oh, okay, well, now you're lying. Anyway, yeah, they really chose the worst time to become woke. And it's not even woke. I feel like to say that this game is woke, it's like, I feel like, how is it woke? Like, what do you mean by woke? It's a stretch. It's such a stretch. It's totally a massive stretch. You know what? Let's do a poll. I'm actually really curious to hear what you guys think about this. Give it a minute. There's a lot of you guys in chat, a lot of people in chat, a lot of voters. 35% of people think that this game is woke. That is a huge percentage of people. That is massive. Massive, massive, massive. The context of the gay scene is that it's very period appropriate, shrouded in sin, taboo, and secrecy. It's anything but woke. Yeah, but it's in the game. You see, like, I agree with you. I don't think it's a problem. I understand that. I think it's fine. But if other people don't think it's fine, and they don't like it because they just don't want gay shit in video games. And I think that for a lot of people, it is actually that simple. They don't want gay shit in video games, period. That's it. And so, yeah, people are fatigued from it. They are. And so even if it makes sense, even if it's totally justifiable, it doesn't matter to people that feel this way. That's it. That's all there is to it. And it doesn't matter, like, it's disgusting. I think it's silly, too. I do. But you have to acknowledge that Bro, the horse. Jesus. Forgiveness stops. Refunding the game? Oh my god. People are really mad about this. That's an oversimplification. Cyberpunk 2077 was full of controversial shit. Sometimes oversimplifications are actually how it is. By the way. And also, so this is the difference. The difference is that Baldur's Gate 3 and Kingdom Come Deliverance are very different games, because Kingdom Come Deliverance has an audience of people that... and also Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 was criticized a lot for not having elements of things that were considered woke in it at the time. So because of that, Kingdom Come Deliverance attracted a large audience of people who are very much against any sort of modern audience type content. So Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk didn't have that innate audience inside of it. So the difference with Kingdom Come Deliverance, that's not true. This is a factual statement. Anyway, it had this endemic audience of people that were very, very anti-woke. So that means that those people are going to be much more sensitive to issues like this, and they're going to be much more prone to react negatively to it. So that's the big difference. Let's talk about the gay thing. People were gay back then. They were gay. And so, and I guarantee you people were having gay sex back then, you know, in behind closed doors. It's not like, you know, like the moment that they invented, I don't know, SpongeBob SquarePants, everybody turned gay. That's not what happened, as far as I know. And so, it's not like it's new. Exactly, yeah. That's not really new at all. I think we're missing the context here. When the first game came out, there was an article criticizing the game for not having any black or gay people. They said that there could have been at the time passing for the area. The historical accuracy of this, I don't think, is relevant, because two things can be true at once. That it is a misrepresentation to say that people like that were common inside of the story. So whenever people see somebody like that in a medieval circumstance, they view it as DEI, because they're like, well, how many times did this really happen, and why are we focusing on this? That's number one. And number two, people have seen it in all other kinds of media, and they're tired of seeing it. I think that's really the answer. Here's my point. I think that this is a very interesting case, and I think that future developers should be very aware and very reluctant to introduce complex social political issues into their video games. I think that they should. And I would only do it unless you think that you're doing it in the absolute right way. And if you're doing this, that's fine. But people are going to be very bothered by it. Whether you like it or not, whether it should be like this or not, they're going to be really upset. That's it. And that's the bottom line. I'll read one more comment. That's true, but when they're going to stop putting us gays in fucking video games, it gets exhausting. I just want great games. I feel like this is the way that I think most people feel. They just don't give a fuck and they don't want to hear about it. That's it. It's not that they like it. It's not that they don't like it. They're just fatigued from hearing about it. They're fatigued from thinking about it. They're fatigued from it being in front of them. They just don't want to hear about it. They don't want to think about it. If it's there, that's fine, but they don't want it to be in front of them. That's it. Like, and I feel like that is a lot of the average people's opinion. Now, I could be wrong on this, on my temperature check here, but that's where I'm feeling. Kingdom Come Deliverance, we're so back. I'll look at this. Okay, let's see it.
Peggy 18.
Oh. Oh. Nice. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Got him. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm wondering what the comments are going to be like after all the drama around this game. Looks like nobody gives a fuck. Yep, nobody gives a fuck. Dude, this trailer is sick as fuck. Yeah, there we go. Not a phone in sight, just people living in the moment. I wonder why. What a mystery. Yeah, what drama? Good question. Anyway, yeah, this is badass. February 3rd, or 4th, I guess. I'll be playing this as soon as I can. I'm really excited for this game. I'll probably be playing it a lot. How many trans characters, though? I guess you're going to have to buy it and find out, but I would assume the answer is probably 0.